Do you ever wonder how autistic people show love? If you think it's all about hugs and grand gestures, you might be surprised. Hey friends, I'm Mike, a late diagnosed autistic adult, and today we're diving deep into a topic that I think doesn't get nearly enough attention: how autistic people show love. And as we go, take a look at some of the special things from this channel's lovely community of Autisticats, like this lovely painting of Hydra by Alicia. More of her artwork coming soon. Hydra, what do you think? There are thousands of other videos on the internet about ways in which you can show love and support for people, but this video is going to be about how autistic people show care, compassion and consideration for each other. In case you're here for tips on what flowers to buy for that autistic person in your life, or what colour emoji hearts to use, the answer is any they like and whatever colour hearts you prefer. I personally like the orange one, but today we're digging a little deeper, going to explore autistic love languages and what this has to do with it. What makes a love language autistic? Is it the esteem train on the birthday card, or making that special someone a romantic dinner where the sausages don't touch the beans? Well, yeah, actually, that sounds pretty good. I found this on eBay. It's a kilogram of single colour Skittles. That takes all the fun out of arranging them by colour though, doesn't it? Who's buying this stuff? Do you know? Is it you lot? There's a business idea out there for someone there, I think, buying packets of candies and reselling them by colour. Anyway, we'll get to the pebbling soon, but when I was hanging out with my friend Quinn last weekend, he mentioned using different apps and services for communication in order to accommodate his autistic friends.
When I talk to Mike, at the moment I'm doing it on WhatsApp and he's accommodating me on that. I use WhatsApp because I use it because a blind friend finds it easier to use, and so I was accommodating them. Somebody else I started talking to said, hey, have you ever heard of Marco Polo? No, they like to use that, I work with that. They may not be communication styles in the way we're thinking of, but it's different venues and different things that people feel comfortable with. So you change.
Different apps for different people. He's got a really good point, I think, especially for those of us who are non-speaking or struggle with vocal communication at times. I could type on a computer before I was saying much, and thankfully access to electronic communication has opened up a world of possibilities for people who prefer text comms. Non-verbal communication can be a really powerful love language, whether it's sending a thoughtful text or sharing a funny meme, or just being present in a group chat. These methods can mean the world to someone who finds verbal communication challenging. For instance, I have friends who prefer to communicate through animated GIFs and emojis. You know who you are. It's become our own special language. It's not about the words, it's about the connection and effort to communicate in a way that feels comfortable and authentic. And for those with higher support needs, why not learn some basic sign language, or trying Makaton signing while you're speaking? Learning a few Makaton signs can be a powerful way to show support and understanding for autistic people who use it. It demonstrates a willingness to meet them on their own terms and can significantly enhance their connection and mutual understanding. I lived in Germany amongst other English-speaking British military families. There were two types of us: those who made an effort to try and speak German and those who didn't. You can spot the English-only person in a foreign country a mile away. It's practically a meme. You stick out like a sore thumb. And for those people who are willing to learn German, or like me, just try, mein Deutsch ist nicht so gut, had a much better friendship with the locals, and nearly everyone switched to English when I struggled anyway. But I know that they appreciated my effort to meet them halfway. Sensory experiences play a huge role in how we interact with the world. For many of us on the spectrum, certain textures, sounds or visuals can be incredibly soothing, or the opposite. Does anyone like touching dry microfiber cloths? If you do, let me know in the comments section below. Imagine a friend giving you a piece of smooth, polished stone, like this pebble I showed earlier, because they know that the texture is calming for you. Or perhaps you share a mutual love of certain sounds or scents. These small gestures show that you understand and appreciate each other's sensory preferences. A study published in the Autism Journal highlights how sensory experiences are central to autistic people's daily lives, influencing comfort and well-being. The lived sensory experiences of autistic people is something that the academic literature is starting to build evidence towards. Prior to the last couple of decades, the focus was predominantly in children and focused on sensory sensitivities in a very negative way. However, there is a flip side. For those autists with a profile of hypersensitivity, some pleasant sensations can be experienced as out of this world pleasurable, seemingly ecstatic beyond the typical range that neurotypicals might report. So, share a texture. These lovely plushies are gifts from my friends in the Discord community, and they mean a lot to me, not just because they're tactile and feel nice, but they mostly follow a theme of shared interests. So, let's talk about shared interests. They're one of the cornerstones of many relationships, but for autistic people, they can be an especially powerful way to connect. In fact, on this channel, I often talk about intense passions or so-called special interests. Many autistic people have highly focused interests, and one of mine is in the marine environment, the ocean, the sea, and the creatures that inhabit it. That's why I have a couple of marine plushies on my desk, including my manta ray that accompanies me on my travels. Some of the beautiful artwork behind me, painted by Alicia, there's a link to her channel in the description below, are of some of my favourite things. And acrylic has a certain pleasing texture to it too. Wendy made me this beautiful underwater diorama from a video off one of my dives, and I'm absolutely amazed at how much talent this community has. And thank you for sending me these lovely things. A little while back, I decided to host a public Minecraft server for those of you that join my live streams. It's a creative server. Players can build whatever they like. And in my mind, I thought that we'd all build together, you know? But do you know what happens when you get a bunch of autistic Minecraft players in a build anything world? Everyone plays in parallel. Spending time together in the same virtual world, each working on our own projects, but sharing the overall space, that's a beautiful way to connect without the pressure of a constant interaction. It's not just about video games. It could be reading in the same room, working on separate art projects, or even just sitting quietly together. The key is sharing the experience, knowing that someone is there with you enjoying the same thing, or their own thing. Right? If you'd like to take a look at the creations in our Minecraft world, the details are on my website, linked in the description. Sometimes it's nice to spend time together without the pressure to interact constantly. Quality time doesn't always mean engaging in deep conversations or planning elaborate activities. And for many autistic people, simply being in the same space, each doing our own thing, can be incredibly fulfilling. Whether it's sitting in the same room while each person reads their own book, or working on separate projects at a coffee shop, this parallel time allows for connection without overwhelming social demands. Nice and easy. Quality time in parallel is about enjoying each other's company in a way that feels comfortable and natural. But another closely related strategy is body doubling. You got it. Body doubling is an informal support strategy that many autistic people and ADHDers find really helpful. Having someone nearby while you work or do tasks can create a sense of calm or motivation. Even though the other person isn't actively helping with the task itself, it's a form of co-regulation where the physical presence of the other person makes it easier to stay engaged, focused, or grounded. For autistic people, offering your time for body doubling can be a significant way to show support and companionship, especially when starting or completing tasks can feel overwhelming. Sometimes people join my Tuesday live streams for this very purpose. I know a lot of dogs get walked and dishes get washed during my Tuesday live streams. Some people have said the streams help with their emotional regulation. I even wrote this script while listening to another autism YouTuber's live stream. A few years ago, I joined a co-working space, as working from home can sometimes be really isolating, and that can make it difficult to get motivated. Unfortunately, I found it too noisy and busy to get any deep work done, but it did work well enough for what I needed at the time. If I'm on my own and I need that little boost, I'll head to a coffee shop. It's like the vibe spreads. It's hard to explain, but it does work. The Feral Memes channel is, I think, the most loved channel on our Discord server, and for good reason. Many of us like to share memes and jokes with each other. It's a truly universal language. In our community, we often find humour in the nuances of everyday life, things that others might overlook. It's not just about laughing together, it's about seeing the world through a similar lens. Does that make sense? Humour doesn't always have to be like verbal or memes either. It could be physical comedy, amusing antics, or on my recent trip to the UK, Emily showed me about a dozen funny faces on her phone. She also made me this fun poster cartoon of me and Nina, the livestream tea fairy. Inside jokes or memes related to shared interests can be a delightful way to show that you get each other. And believe it or not, sharing memes can be a love language in and of itself. Memes are a fun and often light-hearted way to connect. They can convey complex feelings or shared experiences in just a simple image or a few words. Let me show you the Feral Memes channel on Discord. Me, whenever someone says something slightly nice to me, unusually repulsive cat. It's not a repulsive cat. You can come and live here. Startled by a gesture of affection. Yep. This one. It's like a little monster wearing an oversized t-shirt saying, "A sincere apology to all victims of my social awkwardness." I say do not apologise for that. Do not apologise. Then we've got loads of funny GIFs. My 7-year-old accidentally called neurotypicals neurodifficult, and I will be using that word whenever I meet a willfully ableist neurotypical from now on. Having anxiety is so stupid, like what do you mean I'm scared of hanging out with my friends? Hurricane warning in this area, check local media and authorities. Twice, to make sure you get it. Pokemon Go, a different Pokemon may be appearing in parks around you. It's a great time to explore your local parks. Don't explore your local parks, it's a trap. So next time you come across a meme that makes you think of a friend, send it their way or post it in the Feral Memes channel on Discord. It might just make someone's day. Using visual aids, drawings, or written notes to communicate affection can be especially appreciated. Sometimes words aren't enough, or actually they might be too much. They might be too much sometimes. Now, consider this, right? Consider this. Instead of texting a generic, "How are you?" you might send a photo of something that reminded you of them. Maybe a flower, a funny street sign, I know, a screenshot from a favourite show or something. These visuals cues can convey that you're thinking of them in a more nuanced way than just, "Hey, sup?" Know what I mean? In the Discord, the art and makerspace channels are filled with amazingly creative things that people have made or are working on. It doesn't have to be strictly visual either. Sharing playlists filled with songs that resonate with how you're feeling, or music videos can be a great way to express affection too. According to a study in the Journal of Autism and Developmental Disorders, catchy name, let's call it JAD from here on, visual communication strategies can enhance social interactions and emotional understanding between autistic adults. But you know, most of us autistic adults didn't need research to tell us what we already knew. Just saying. Helping with tasks that might be overwhelming, like organising a workspace, running errands, or planning an event, can be a significant way to show support. These acts relieve stress and show that you're there to help navigate life's challenges. For many autistic people, executive functioning tasks can be a real challenge. I'm talking stuff like initiating a task, planning steps, or managing time. These things might require extra effort. So when someone steps in to help with those tasks, it can relieve a lot of stress. For example, when I was going through a particularly difficult few years, and I felt incredibly burnt out and overwhelmed to the point of not being able to open and read my mail, friends helped me sort through my emails and letters and summarised them for me. This actually went on for a few years, and I don't know how I could have managed without this support at the time. A simple act doesn't take a great deal of time, but meant a lot to me. It's not about taking over or assuming incompetence. It's about offering support where it's needed and appreciated. According to research published in the JAD, practical support can enhance the quality of life for autistic adults. Again, I could have told them that and saved them some time. Let's talk about autistic pebbling. And no, it is not a new sport or gardening technique. Pebbling is a term that some of us use to describe the act of giving small, often seemingly insignificant objects to show affection and connection. Think about penguins for a moment. Male penguins search for the perfect pebble to present to a potential mate. It's a simple gesture, but it holds significant meaning in the penguin world. Similarly, autistic people might express love by giving or receiving small tokens. A shiny rock, a unique button, a cool leaf, or in my case, an actual pebble. It's got paw prints on it. Thanks, Nina. For us, these items aren't just objects, they're a physical manifestation of our thoughts and feelings. The pebble I held up earlier isn't just any pebble. It's smooth, it fits perfectly in the palm of my hand and has a comforting weight to it. When I give someone a pebble like this, assuming I gave them an actual pebble, it's probably likely not to be a pebble. It's more likely to be a seashell, if I'm honest with you. But I'm sharing something that brings me joy and comfort and hoping it does the same for them. Actually, thinking about this, I remember a friend giving me a beautifully patterned seashell after their trip to the beach because they knew I loved marine life. Sometimes I collect unusual objects or shells from the seabed and bring them back. My son once brought me back a very big and very dead crab. Thanks, dude. The next time an autistic friend hands you a small object with a smile, know that it's a gesture of affection, a pebble of connection, if you will. Anyway, back to the other love languages. One of the most heartfelt ways to show love to an autistic person is by supporting their passions, or so-called special interests. They're more than just hobbies. They're sources of joy, comfort, and self-expression. By taking an interest in someone's passion, whether it's trains, astronomy, a particular video game, a specific genre of music, cats, dogs, whatever, you show that you value what matters to them. For example, if your friend is fascinated by birds, you might go bird watching together, or gift them a book on ornithology. These gestures demonstrate understanding and acceptance, which can be profoundly meaningful. I've just finished this book on Australian nudibranchs. It's great to see what interesting species you have on the other side of the planet. So thank you for sending that to me. Autistic friends are one of the easiest to shop for gifts for, honestly, I think. Gentle touch and big hugs. For those comfortable with touch, gentle and consensual, physical contact can be meaningful. A light touch on the shoulder, a fist bump, or even a weighted blanket can be a way to connect without overwhelming the senses. It is always important to ask first, as sensory sensitivities vary greatly among individuals. If you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with physical contact as long as it's not unexpected or like too light and creepy. Do not like the light, do not like the spider, do not like the creepy. Patience during meltdowns. Dr. Stephen Shaw, an autism advocate, says the most important thing during a meltdown is patience and understanding, and I couldn't agree more. I made a recent video about the difference between throwing a tantrum and autistic meltdowns. Very quickly, both are emotionally distressed reactions, and those experienced by autistic adults are not their fault. They're not infantile and usually occur as a pressure release of quite often overstimulation. Offering support and understanding during sensory overloads or meltdowns is invaluable. Being there without judgment can make all the difference. Calm down, or you're overreacting are not great things to say to an autistic person in a meltdown or about to have a meltdown. Try saying, I'm here for you, or you're safe instead. Reduce sensory input. Dim the lights. Lower the noise levels, or if you can, move to a quieter, more private space. If the meltdown was caused by overstimulation, that can really help. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to make a video about meltdown self-care or something. Let me know. Predictability and routine. Creating and respecting routines can be a love language in itself. Many of us find comfort in predictability. When somebody helps maintain a routine or respects our need for structure, it shows that they care. According to the National Autistic Society, routines can help reduce anxiety for autistic individuals. So, helping somebody stick to their schedule and not springing surprise plans on them can show understanding for their needs. For example, if you know that your friend likes to have coffee at the same time every day, joining them or ensuring that they have that time free can be a really meaningful gesture. Planning activities in advance and sharing an itinerary can help reduce anxiety too. Actively listening without judgment is a powerful way to show love. Letting someone express themselves fully, knowing that they're heard and understood, can be incredibly validating. Research in the Journal of Applied Research in Intellectual Disabilities emphasises the importance of empathic listening and building trust and connection with autistic individuals with co-occurring intellectual disability. So, an attentive ear can be a thoughtful gift. Understanding and honouring. personal boundaries, both physical and emotional, is crucial. When someone respects our limits, it fosters trust and safety in the relationship. As Dr. Tony Attwood notes, respecting personal space and boundaries is essential in building meaningful relationships with autistic individuals. For instance, if somebody isn't comfortable with hugs, a simple wave or verbal greeting is a respectful alternative. If a friend needs time alone to recharge, giving them that space without guilt-tripping shows that you value their well-being. Acknowledging and celebrating successes, no matter how small, shows that you recognise and appreciate the effort that someone else is putting in. Maybe they've mastered a new skill or completed a project or simply just made it through a tough day. Celebrating these moments can boost confidence and improve mood. A simple, "I'm proud of you," or "great job on that presentation" can go a long, long way. They can stay with people for a really long time. In a society with unwritten rules and implications, hints and expectations, it can be refreshing to simply say exactly what you mean without any hidden meanings or ambiguous language. This is one way that you can show autistic people love, by being respectful of their time and energy. For example, if plans change, let them know as soon as possible. If you have a concern, express it clearly and kindly. This eliminates guesswork and reduces anxiety. Making an environment comfortable for someone's sensory sensitivities and accommodating them by managing sensory inputs, lighting, noise levels, temperature, and so on. For example, if you're hosting a gathering, you might create a quiet area where someone can retreat if things get overwhelming. Or perhaps you keep a pair of noise-cancelling headphones handy for them. These adjustments show that you're considerate of their needs and want them to feel at ease. Positive affirmations and words of encouragement can be incredibly impactful, whether it's acknowledging someone's effort, celebrating their achievements, or simply letting them know that you believe in them. These words can boost confidence and morale. For instance, sending a quick message like, "thinking of you and hoping you have a great day," can simply uplift someone's spirits. As noted in the International Journal of Wellbeing, believe it or not, it's a thing, positive feedback is linked to increased self-esteem and happiness. References, bibliographies in the description. Lastly, remember that helping others helps you too. Altruism and helping others socially without expecting anything in return activates areas of the brain associated with reward, empathy, and stress reduction, boosting your mood and sense of well-being as well. Engaging in acts of kindness is a win-win situation. When we support each other, we build a stronger, more compassionate community. So, do you know what your love languages are? And what about your partner's or friend's love languages? Understanding and embracing these unique ways of expressing love can deepen your relationships, bring you closer together. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of autistic love languages. I make at least one video each week and post exclusive content on Patreon every month. If you'd like to support the channel and join our community on Patreon, you'll get access to exclusive content and special Patreon-only posts, and on all tiers, even the lowest tier, includes access to the Scratching Post Discord. Your support helps me continue to make content like this. The link is in the description below. If you found this video helpful and want to see my tier ranking of 20 absurd reasons people have given me in my community why we couldn't possibly be autistic, please click the video at the end. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with anyone who might find this helpful. And as always, leave a comment below. I love hearing your thoughts and experiences. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye.